Okay, just to recap the game, good hard-fought battle, good to get a win. Obviously, we need to keep the points down a little bit. 33 points, a lot of points to give up. Our offense obviously put a lot of points on the board, and we won the game, but things to clean up. We did some good things in the game that I was pleased with, especially defending an offense like that. And we know where we need to get better and improve for this week moving forward. So on to Tennessee.
How significant a loss is that, CJ? They missed the timing?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to see that because he was in pain. That's a tough injury. All injuries are tough, but really felt bad for him because he was hurting pretty good. But, he's played really good football for us, and it's going to be like, we've had some guys that have went in and out of the lineup, and, we all got to pick up the slack and be able to function without him. So that's what we'll do.
What's the biggest challenge with putting Reed in there as a rookie and trying to figure it out with him?
I want to say this. Reed had a very good game. He came in there, and that's a tough spot. But our guys, they're psychologically prepped for that to happen. So, and what I mean by that is everyone that has a jersey on game day, the head coach talks about roles. Like, everyone has a role, but that can change like that. So, those guys that are backups right now, they prepare like they're going to be in and starting. So, I mean, it's a really, a feather in Reed's hat. He's prepared the correct way. And the other thing with that, too, is that's really good coaching. You talk about D. Will and DK, for a guy to come in a game like that and play winning football for you, plus the trickle-down effect of the different packages that you have. I mean, going into that 2-minute, we're saying, well, who's going to play this spot? Who's playing this spot? And, you always have a pair and a spare for each spot. And, obviously you saw that they've done a really good job with him because he played well, and then we could solve problems, with other groups that we needed to have up. And then even, then he got nicked, I think, and Kayvon comes in and has a PBU on third down in the red zone, which was a huge play. So, it's really a kudos to the player and the coaches to be ready to go. But our guys know, man, like your number can get called at any time, and you can't be the weak link when you go in there. So, I was proud of how that unfolded.
In terms of how you utilize your safeties, we've seen more of Marcus in the box and more of CJ in the post. Reed in college played more in the box than he did in the post. Does this change how you utilize your two?
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to look to deploy our guys to accentuate their skill set by call, but with doing that, you got to be aware of, what the offense sees as well. So we'll have a plan for that moving forward. I always talk about those safeties being mirrored positions, and their skill sets have to be unique and well-rounded to do that, which all of our guys that play for us in the back end have those qualities. So we'll have a plan moving forward, but I'm not really too concerned about that.
JG, when you look at Cincinnati, when you look at Tennessee on tape, what did the Bengals do to limit Henry to 39 yards rushing? Was it scheme or was it just individual?
Yeah, they played well as a unit together. You talk about they kind of bottled them up pretty good. Run defense, it's all 11, and they were fitting very well together. I thought Lou did a good job of changing up the spacing. Lou's their defensive coordinator, and they got a good front, just like us. I mean, they controlled the line of scrimmage for the most part and didn't let them get going. And then, as you see, and they possessed the ball on offense, so they kind of limited his touches there. It was really a low possession type game, that game, which, Sunday night was a high possession game. You just don't know how the game's going to kick out, But I think they played complementary football, Cincinnati, kept them off the field a little bit and had some extended drives. And then when he did get his touches, they did a good job, all 11, to really bottle him up and control the line of scrimmage and tackle him. I played against this guy multiple times, being in that division for 3 years with him, and I mean, he's a tall order. He's one of the premier players in the world at his position. So we got our challenge cut out for us.
JG, how much do you think having the two new D tackles has helped Fletch?
I think it's helped him with the workload. We talked about the one game where he played that many plays. I don't love that. That we talked about, but. I think Fletch he's such a unicorn because he can play anything that you ask him to play, from all the spacings, all the different positions in those spacings. he doesn't have a weak spot in his game, so he can plug and play around when certain guys are in. But I think that has helped a little bit because just of his workload, and to really put him in, it kind of freed us up a little bit to put him in some positions to really affect the game, which he did. I mean, he's going to get I don't know if he knows he'll get a game ball. He was lights out on Sunday night.
What about having those two guys, Linval and Domicon, obviously Derrick Henry coming up, like how big have they been in the run game for you guys?
Yeah, they've both played well in the run game for these last two games. So, but it's again though, that's all 11. Like and even my opening statement, the explosives got to come down, guys. Like that's when you're going to give up a lot of points. Like if you give explosives up, you're going to be in the red zone, and you got to fight them in the red zone, keep points off the board. But explosive plays lead to points typically. So in the run and pass game. So it's not just those two guys. We all got to consistently, all 11 have to consistently do a good job in the run and pass game to not allow a team to, go up and down the field and score. So I'm pleased where they're at, and they're going to play huge roles as we keep moving forward. And I think they'll continue to get better and better just with our terminology, what we're asking them to do. And they've both been, fantastic with coming in here. What do we need to do to help the team win? So they'll continue to get better.
On the subject of explosives, can you take us through the A.J. Dillon touchdown run and the Christian Watson?
Yeah, I just got a little bit. We lost gap integrity on the A.J. Dillon one. Then what was the other one?
The Watson.
I didn't. Too aggressive of a call by me, honestly. Like at that point in the game, you're up 14, 9 minutes left, and the call I did not love and stressed our guys out, and that's what happened. So, that one's on me. Like, come on, man. Like, keep the ball in front of you right there. The game's in your favor right there, and we let them back in the game because of really the call.
Is there
What about
any,
the four-man
JJ,
fronts early,
is there any-
4-2 front early in game? You guys have kind of gone that and have struggled in stopping that. Is that scheme related, the call, or is that the execution?
A little bit of both. What was the first part of the question, Jeff?
Seems like you utilized the 4-2 front early in games, and that's been where they've kind of gotten you guys.
Yeah,
early.
we were in that package because it was second and pass, and you can't sub versus them, so they completed the screen, and then we're in that next snap there. So it doesn't matter. Our guys know this. Like we have to do better in all our spacings. Like you're looking for premium execution, and whatever call you're in, you have to be able to line up and stop people, who's ever out there and whatever call you're in. So I think that, it's just a couple adjustments here or there. That's why I was excited walking down. We talked about some things that I think can help us. We talked about with the head coach. He gave us a couple good ideas that I like. And we'll try to, we're not going to change anything we do, but just a couple minor adjustments with hands and footwork and things like that. Or, you build in a couple things off of each front that can help, and, how teams are trying to attack us combat that.
Reed, can you elaborate on what he did over the course of the season when he wasn't playing to earn that spot, and then how much can you learn about a guy when he's not?
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly a better question for D. Will and DK because I'm not in there with him all the time. But I know this, the guy's a pro. Like, he came in here as a rookie and said, I know that this is my role right now, but when I'm called upon, I need to be ready to play good football. And you saw him in training camp. What I can't answer for your question, Bo, is I know that the guy takes, elite notes. He asks a lot of questions. He doesn't memorize or regurgitate. He understands. And there's a difference between memorizing my adjustments and the defenses and understanding the why behind that. And, he's obviously very smart, like all those guys in that room are, and that's a thinking position. And, he's a big physical guy that can move. So he should be able to, once he gets comfortable, I think the more and more he plays, once he gets comfortable, the better off he'll play. So I think just his want to and his attitude of getting himself ready to play whenever he was called upon, that's what probably impressed me the most. Because a lot of guys, I'll just wait a year. I'll just wait 2 years. It's not my year, but down the road, I'm going to be a player. No, like you can't have that attitude in this league. So, and Nick, honestly, the culture that he sets for this whole team, it isn't that.
That comfort factor you're just talking about with Reed, has that helped Josiah Scott as he's continued to fill in for Avante?
Yeah, I mean, Josiah, just the same way. Like, he's played good football with us, and that's a tough position. I mean, they're all tough positions, but the nickel position in our defense, we ask that a lot of that guy. And that's why the other day when you guys asked, like, I feel very comfortable with Josiah in there playing good football for us. So, he does a lot of things extremely well, what you're looking for the nickel to do. And, he handles it mentally. He's extremely intelligent. He's physical. He's violent. He can cover. So he's done a good job with us. The 11 that we have out there, I haven't been weirded out once all year, where I'm like, oh boy, like, are we okay? I really haven't. So it's a kudos to Howie to get the right people in here, and a kudos to the coaches to get them guys ready to play and play winning football.
You mentioned Kayvon. He's found himself in some, like you said, high leverage snaps, even though his snaps have gone down.
Yeah.
How's he handled his role change?
Third down too. Those are high leverage snaps. You talk about, hey, let's put this guy in on dime. Well, I tell guys all the time, it's like, okay, it might be play 27 and it's 3rd and 5 with, you need a huge stop, and this guy's going in for this first play. Like, there's no rhythm to that. So I appreciate Kayvon being able to do that because he can. He's started football games for us. I feel very comfortable with Kayvon and the job that he does, and we give him, we put a lot on his plate too because he's backing up 2 positions, really 4 positions, honestly. And when you talk about adding all the packages, he's always mentally ready to go. He practices his tail off out there, and when we need him, he goes in there and plays well. So, happy that he's doing that.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, guys.